Hi everyone, it's Jaymie here. For today's Get Cozy with Money series, we're going to get a little bit raunchy, and I'm going to ask you, are you slutty with your money or are you a prude with your money? Now, I say this with love and just for the sake of fun in order to put up some kind of an engaging different title to get your attention. Okay, and basically, what it means is I'm trying to ask you to gauge whether you tend to be tight with your money or loose with your money. Because what I've found is that because we overall live in a really materialistic society, a lot of people tend to be loose with their money. We live in a world that makes it really easy to be able to purchase things and give the illusion of being able to afford things by giving you guys credit, right? Giving us credit. And so it's easy to kind of forget about what can I actually afford? How much money do I have right now? Versus like kind of that concept of living within your means. And so for that reason, I feel like a lot of people do tend to be more indulgent and really loose with their money. Whereas me, I tend to be really tight with my money. So instead of being loose or slutty with money, I'm more of a prude with money. And that's what made it really difficult for me to navigate my money journey because I feel like there's so many resources that are available nowadays, which I'm super grateful for. But a lot of it is centered around money coaches that really teach you how to change your relationship with money, cater towards someone who tends to be more indulgent, which I don't, that's not my flow language, so to speak. So I didn't really learn a lot from it. And then there was a lot of information about how to save money, how to be responsible with money. Well, I already know how to do that. Like, you guys, I'm 34 years old. I have a Roth IRA, I have a pension plan, a 401k, a money market fund, savings account, a checking account, and I transfer money into my savings account every month, like 10% of whatever I make. And that's just one account. And then I've got other accounts every month where I distribute 5%. So that's 20% of everything that I make that always goes somewhere. And so I'm very good in regards to that. So for me, a lot of the information that was available really didn't help me. And this is why I feel like it's really important to customize and understand what your relationship with money is and basically understand where you need to rebalance accordingly. Because if you tend to be really indulgent with your money, then it's going to be beneficial for you to learn to be a little bit tighter with money. Whereas if you're really tight with money, you have to take the opposite approach. I want you to think of it as if someone is trying to give you something, right? I just taped up a bunch of stuff. So these are like the backings of the double-sided tape. So let's just use this as an example. Let's just say these sheets of paper symbolize money, okay? And if you tend to be loose with your money, you're likely to keep your hand open, and so the money will show up. But if you're loose, like your hands might be open like this, so you might make money, but it might also like slip through the cracks of your fingers as well. So like you'll make a lot of money, but then you'll spend it really fast. And it's important to have that balance where it's important for you to spend money, not just hang on to it because you need to. That's the synergy of money. What comes in must come out, and there's got to be this flow. But if your hands tend to be like this, then closing it up a little bit is going to be beneficial. Whereas if you tend to be really tight with your money, which is how I used to be, and I was like this, money can try to like show up, and you'll notice that like two of these, like got stuck in my fist, but there was like one, two, three, four, five pieces of money that slipped through the cracks because, I'm not able to hold anything that shows up. It's just gonna like fall out of my hand. And so for me, it's going to be beneficial for me to learn to open my hands up and be more open to money. So this is what I mean when I say, do you tend to be slutty with your money or approved with your money? Basically, are you too tight or are you too loose? Now, sometimes you may fluctuate, and that's okay too. But really, it's about understanding what your most dominant tendencies are so that you can learn to balance it out. This, I think, is so absolutely important. And because my understanding is more regarding being tight with my money and knowing how to open myself up, I actually created a practice called the pleasure purchase. I believe it's the missing link to sustainable budgeting, particularly for people who tend to be tight with their money. So keep an eye out for that video. I'm going to be posting that soon. But for right now, I just want you to examine, do you tend to be tight with your money or do you tend to be loose with your money? Okay, and then ask yourself, like, how much money do you have coming in versus how much money actually stays with you? How quickly does the money leave you? When the money leaves you, or not leaves you, but like, when you spend the money, where does it end up going? Like I have friends that tend to buy it on clothes. It might be material possessions. It might be, things that allow you to express yourself. Or maybe it's because you're trying to insulate yourself, because you're trying to protect yourself. The things that you spend your money on, the habits around it, tell a story of who you are. And I want you to understand what it serves for you, what it's offering you. Okay. And if you find that you tend to be tight with your money, why are you hanging on to your money? What is keeping you attached to it? For me, for example, I didn't want to spend money until I knew that I could afford to pay for my rent. But I always actually had enough money to pay for my rent. Usually when I got a single check, I didn't have to wait for all the extra stuff, but I didn't pay for my rent till the last second, and I just wanted to make sure my needs were met. And I realized that came from a place of distrust. I was like, shit might hit the fan, so I don't want to let go of this because I may need it. It was like my insurance policy. And so now for my journey, what's really benefiting me is to allow myself to trust and to know that the money is going to continue to show up and that it's meant to be spent. So while a lot of money coaches might say, don't like blow your money away, that is exactly what I need to do. That's a value for me because I tend to be tight with my money. And so that's where that's shown up for me. And so if you're tight with your money, ask yourself why, what are you scared of? What are you hanging on to? What are you attached to? Why are you afraid to release the money? Questions like that, so that you have a deeper understanding of what's going on inside of you, and so that you can clarify the drives behind your relationship and actions around money. Okay, and then whatever those imbalances are, whether you're nourishing yourself in a way you're using money to overcompensate, or maybe it's a fear. And it may not even be that. It may be just how much you really appreciate being able to share gifts with your loved ones. It may be a practice of being responsible. It's not necessarily always a bad thing, but whatever it serves you, the good, the bad. Not that I'm a fan of the labels, but I want you to write all of that down. And then I want you to explore other ways that you can enhance a more empowering relationship with money. This can be in any situation that you're in. You're able to shift around that. Okay? Let me think if I can give you an example. Like, let's see. Okay. So I know someone who is the polar opposite of me. She and I used to be really close, and she's very loose with her money, and I tend to be really tight with my money. So we did an amazing job being able to help each other. She would spend a lot of money on clothes, and she would accumulate a lot of material possessions. And the thing is, there's this correlation that the more money, the more things that you have physically, the harder it is for you to let things go, the more you hang on to resentment. So being passionate about wanting to let things go, being in a healthier emotional place, she actually went through her closet and she just started getting rid of things. In fact, when she was starting to have really painful experiences with someone that she was in a relationship with, her body just naturally felt the need that she had to let this go. That she was already like driving to the Skid Row in her neighborhood and dropping off clothes to like homeless people and asking them what they wanted, and she would come back and bring it for them, things like that. And so, there's a lot of benefit that comes out of, having a lot of stuff too. But at the same time, because she was allocating all of her money to so much clothes that she didn't need a lot of, she wasn't able to get other things that she wanted as well. And so that would be an example of like, what are the benefits? She's tight with her money. She's had benefits, and then there are some drawbacks. And then the way that she can continue to enhance that is she realized she doesn't need to have a lot of things in order to feel nourished. She can find other ways to be fulfilling, other ways to be generous. And then that eliminated that desire to have to constantly buy things. And she actually, as she was getting rid of things, before she even noticed the connection, she was like, I really missed my mom, was the thing that she told me. And it's because like some of the feelings of nourishment that clothes were giving her, she didn't get from her mom as a child, and when she eliminated that substitute, she was able to recognize that core missing element. So that was really powerful for her. That's an example of, how you can navigate towards if you tend to be really loose with your money. If you tend to be a little bit tighter with money, for example, with me, I was always like, I want to have all my needs met before I purchase anything, right? And years would go by, and there were so many different things that I wanted to get on Amazon, and I just wouldn't allow myself to. And then I realized, you know what? Being really tight with my money was making it difficult for me to get more money. Being tight with money was beneficial in that it made me responsible. That's why I have a money market fund and what else? A 401k and a pension plan and a Roth IRA, which at 34 years old is kind of impressive, right? And so there's all of these different things that came out of it, but it also revealed that I was very distrustful, and I didn't want to let go of money because I didn't want to be screwed. Like, I was coming from a place of paranoia and thinking that the world was out to get me. And the only way for me to realize that that isn't true is to put myself out there. And so I made a commitment to spend a certain amount of money every month on Amazon, or to buy 1 to 3 things every month from Amazon. And it was a really interesting relationship because it wasn't the dollar amount. I can go and spend $100 on sushi and I'd be okay, but to spend $25 in order to get the free shipping, I was like, oh, I don't know if I deserve that, and da-da-da-da-da. Because to me, spending money on food was part of survival. Getting things that I wanted from Amazon wasn't part of survival. And so I almost had like this, it's either this or that situation. Like, I wasn't in this like mindset of like, I can have both. I can have it all. I deserve all the things. I deserve all that I desire. I wasn't coming from that place. And so I had to stretch myself out a little bit to prove to myself, yes, I can have more than just my needs. It's absolutely safe to do that. It's rarely the dollar amount. It's what the amount symbolizes. So start small. Come up with whatever feels good for you. Explore ways that you can open yourself up to money, whether that's looking for a part-time job or doing what I did of spending $25 a month on Amazon. Now, a lot of different people could be watching this video. Maybe you're not at that place to do that. Well, and I'll be honest, I've been in situations like that, where sometimes I'll spend like $300, $400 a month on Amazon, and other times I'm like, I can't even get like one thing from Amazon, right? Well, I learned that you can actually get an Amazon gift card and put in as little as 50 cents. So just honestly, no matter where you are in your money, I know within myself, because I was afraid of spending money on anything that didn't feel like it was to the survival of my life. Even putting 50 cents seemed like unimportant, or I didn't prioritize it. It wasn't like a big deal to me. Or that's the story I told myself. But ultimately, if it's not a big deal, then why wouldn't I do it, right? What am I really going to miss 50 cents? No. So it wasn't the amount of money again, but it was just learning to trust myself and say, you know what? This act is so much bigger than this small gesture. It's teaching me to trust myself. It's allowing the universe to prove to me, or to show to me, not prove, it doesn't need to prove anything to me, but to show to me that it's always here for me, that it's always supporting me, and I just have to allow that space to let more of that into my life, right? So I want you to, again, look at, are you loose with your money? Are you tight with your money? What are the benefits? What are some of the drawbacks that have come out of it? What is it the way you're spending your money or not spending your money, what is it offering you? What is it insulating you from? What can you do to shift that imbalance so that you can be more harmonized? And I want you to come up with a task, some ideas of what you can do. And then in order to stay accountable, go ahead and comment below with what those answers are. I'd love to hear what this is. And if you're new to the Get Cozy with Money series, go ahead and check it out. I have a bunch of different videos on there. I would love for you to watch them. Let me know what you think. I also have a number of other videos. I'm personally a nonconformist. I think very differently. So a lot of the videos that I have are very they deviate from the norm. So if you feel like there's a lot of advice that doesn't really pertain to you, checking out some of the nonconformist videos may help you. I have a section called like Designing for Nonconformists. I'm also an empath and I take a wildly different approach from most people. And you can go ahead and check that out as well. If there's other videos that you want me to post about, please comment and let me know. Thanks so much for watching, and be sure to subscribe and share this video with anyone that you feel will benefit from it. Thanks for watching. Bye.